Hallo and good evening. Willkommen to mijn livestream. How are you doing, everyone? Duvel, Mr. Tolleford, Busy Bits. Welcome to your, well, maybe not first stream, but first time chat anyway, and perhaps first stream. Mr. Vedros, Reckless Triss. Haven't seen you in a while, I think. Well, good to see you anyway. Marley, and everyone else. How are you doing? I quite enjoyed that the duck emoji that Duvel gave me is being used a lot. It's a great emoji. What does it mean? Like, it's fun that it's an emoji, but what does it mean? Does it just mean kind of a general thing, hey, we're at a Marcel stream, show that we like being at a Marcel stream or something like that? Bit like the golden butt, I guess. Or is it something different? We're flying free, we're a free bird. Something like that. We are not bound to the limits of society. We can drown anyone we want. Even though that's usually against the law. Well, the real life law anyway. Ich bin auch froh, dass Leute es nutzen. I don't know what that means. Mein German ist nicht good enough. Ducks are undrownable. Ducks are undrownable, but they're flying free. They're signifying that we as people, as players, can drown people. Why don't you have the custom menu screen? I like to switch it up. Like, yeah, we're playing open RST2, but today we're actually playing an RST1 scenario. So, besides, nothing is better than the RST1 title sequence. Which is partly nostalgia, but it's definitely better than RST2. But it's also just very good. Like, it's wonderful, isn't this? This is Crumbly Woods. No, Cards and Coasters, sorry. And there's more Cards and Coasters. It's the same ride. And it's... Well, let's see, what do we get after this? Ah, yes, Mel's World. Mel's World is such a fantastic scenario. It gives me strong nostalgia. I do enjoy the RCT1 scenarios except no cash machines. Yeah, that is a bit more tricky. I like this freefall here. This freefall underground. It's not actually underground because you can't do that, but it's kind of underground. It looks like it's underground, which is done very well. Talking about the new title sequence, it's nice and all, but I think it's way over the top. I miss the simple shots of RCT1 and 2. I do as well, which is partly why I have this one on right now. Yeah, we'll switch to the other title sequence. Okay, this is just RST1. You also have AA and AA plus LL. Why do I have two of these? Anyway, this is the new title sequence. And yeah, these parks are very over the top. Hey, Magic Geeks with a 25-year stream. These parks are very over the top. They're very nice. You know, they're not bad, they're great, they're fantastic. But I do also miss a bit of the simplicity. Then again, we have a choice, right? Do you prefer this title sequence? And looking at this is massive, it's brilliant, so I don't dislike it, I like it very much. If you like this one, you can use this one. If you don't like it, you can use the RST1 and RST2 versions. So, yeah. Anyway, today we are going to play Le Destin, Le Désert, which is from Loopy Landscapes. And its 5 coasters require completion in this desert park. Ta-da! Well, I don't think that's going to be very difficult, but we're going to have fun with it. We're going to make them big. We're going to make them have very high excitement ratings. Because yeah, I could complete this quickly, but that's boring. That's not why I'm live streaming. Just like, take 10 minutes to complete it. Alright, bye, see ya guys, stream's over. That wouldn't be very conducive to add water. What do you mean add water? We already have the perfect drowning spot. Okay, what do we charge for? Right. Well, it doesn't... Okay, I'm just gonna add the cash machine. Because more fun. I want more money. Well, now open the right one, you idiot. Cash machine, there we go. Oh, I'm also gonna add the first aid room just because I just learned something about it. And want to show it off. Ground gas 25. Well, we'll guess them. Okay, well, they're gonna have to wait a little bit. Ooh, look at this. Look at this corner. In RST2, this is more like not a sharp edge, not a 90-degree corner, but a curve. Here, it's a sharp edge, it's just 90 degrees. Also, these things have no stairs. In RST2, all slopes do have stairs. Okay, it's time for maximum funding. Yeah, we'll just research everything. Why not, eh? Oh, that's... It's funny, because I've played this so much more in the past 10 years than as a kid. Yet this is still nostalgic for me. Okay, now, I'm gonna teach you a little thing. I'm gonna teach you how to prevent puke. And you need the first aid stall for that, for the most effective thing. So, I'm just gonna make this the most pukey possible. 15 swings, there we go. 6.04 nausea, that's a lot. That's actually a lot. And we are currently preventing a lot of puke. Well, not literally currently, because no guests have been on it yet, but because guests have a tendency to walk straight on. Which means they have a very high chance to walk into this first aid room. That means that a lot of people will lose their nausea very, very quickly. And that's of course great. Because that means less puke. In fact, in a certain test, having just one of these first aid rooms here reduced the puke by like a factor 15 compared to doing nothing at all. And you still need some handyman, because you can't avoid all litter and such, especially, you know, for the toffee apple, I think, does not produce litter. But all drink stalls produce litter, so you can't entirely avoid litter. So you only need some kind of handyman, but you can definitely make sure you need fewer handymen. And that saves money. Obviously first aid stalls cost money as well, but handymen are more expensive. One handyman for a year is already more expensive than a first aid stall if you include the construction costs. And after that, the difference adds up quickly. That was the death of 25. It should... Are there any guests on this yet? Yes. I wonder how many of these 10 are immediately gonna go... Well, they're all happy, so they don't get too nauseous. Low. That low bastard is gonna get very nauseous. Do we have... No, we can't have a non. It's too nauseating for non. Let's see how nauseous this low bastard gets. Oh, look at that. One of the... Oh, I said look at that. You guys can't see it, but we just had a spam message about buying followers or whatever. And it actually got caught in the spam filter. And I was like... Twitch was like, hey Marcel, deny you're allowed this. And if there were any mods in the chat, I probably would have seen that as well. Your game messages are turned off. Oh, yes they are. Turn those on again. There we go. Okay. Oh, they didn't get very nauseous at all. Not nauseous at all. And even though they have a fair bit of hunger, huh? Well, it gave them less nausea than I thought. I mean, they're quite happy. That does lower the nausea they get. I would be too embarrassed to seek out first aid after being sick from a coaster. Just puke in a corner. I wonder what does the first aid actually do? Also rename the park to Ducky Dessert. And we need ducks. I didn't do ducks yet. Oops. And I say we need ducks, not because I want ducks, I do, but channel point reward. The men are spinning them around really fast to get everything out. I mean, realistically, what else are you gonna do? They got healed so quickly in there. So far, none yet. I'm really surprised no one got sick enough from this one. Now that is actually a big surprise to me. Ooh, I just realized I should do some more tests in my nausea video. I kind of finished the script today, but I should do more tests to see how much happiness impacts it. I mean, I know how it does mathematically, but just in a kind of proper test. Unrelated question, do you usually set strict walking paths for handymen or hire a bunch of them and let them wander the path? Oh, I can't be bothered with patrolling. Sometimes I will if there's like one specific terrible area, then sure, but usually I just hire a bunch. Which goes for every staff member, unless there's... I mean, security guards I never use, so I say it goes for every staff member, that's just one I don't use. I'm gonna make everyone wear pink hats. And entertainers, it depends. Sometimes I let them wander, sometimes I need them in specific places. Oh yeah, by the way, we can probably charge a ton for this. 10 bucks. Merry-go-round can stay as it is, it's got a bad throughput anyway. Won't you add a no entry sign to block off people walking pointlessly to the clinic? Oh, that's a good point. Because when you build this here, then of course that's no longer a dead end. Yeah, adding a no entry sign makes it a lot more efficient. Do we have any better no entry signs? Yes, we do. Well, better banner. Does the game have a sprite limit? Wouldn't spawning ducks hurt guest generation? Theoretically, yes, but not until we're at about 57,000 guests. So, or an even higher number, depending. Will they never pass the clinic and go back to it? Yeah, oh, that's true. If you do this and they realize they need to go to the first aid room when they are 5 tiles away, then they can't go back anymore. That's a good point. So I'm just gonna remove it. We shall do a junior coaster. So, I'm in a certain Discord server for YouTubers, and today there was some guy who said, I've been demonetized and YouTube screwed me over and all that kind of stuff. Demonetized for reused content. And then someone actually looked at his channel, and you know what video he found? A video teaching people how to use AI to undress people in pictures. With, of course, in the thumbnail, a woman. So they got banned pretty quickly from that server. Because that's not okay. And I think it's good they got screwed over by YouTube, because they deserve it. There are so many people making that kind of content. And it's awful. And luckily YouTube is trying to clamp down on that kind of shit. Love that anytime anyone posts AI slop on RCT, they get dogpiled. Yes, I've been thinking maybe we should just on the sub entirely ban any AI stuff. I think the latest AI post was someone bringing their AI parks to life with, like, their parks to life with AI. It's not a big problem, right? Because that post was like, what, 2 weeks ago? And that was the first in a while we'd seen, so it's not like it's an invasion of the subreddit. But still. Name a ride of your choice. What do you want to name? Reckless. What do you want to name it to? Most common is people just running their screenshots through and make this real AI prompt and it produces this weird uncanny outputs. And people make general NPC comments like, wow, that looks so cool, I'd go there. Yeah, that's the most common thing. And Junior, your sister's OnlyFans. Well, I hope that's not a junior coaster. But okay. I get the point. I get the point, because then you get people watching your sister's OnlyFans. Yes. I'm not convinced it's a huge problem yet. I don't want to be too heavy-handed to ban it outright. You're mostly down with the move. That was my thought as well. Because it's not a very big problem, but... or even really a problem at all at the moment. But it could become a problem. So, it's always to keep an eye on it. It'd be interesting to see how AI builds custom coaster templates, but I'm not sure that counts as AI slop. And yeah, we would never ban literally everything that has to do with AI. If someone put like Claude AI into Roller Coaster Tycoon, there was a lot of work into it and that kind of stuff, like, that's fine. I don't know if that was actually posted on the subreddit. I don't know where, I don't remember where I saw it, but that kind of stuff is obviously fine. And if someone trains on AI specifically to build roller coasters and stuff, then yeah, that's fine as well. People have made lots of runs at integrating AI into Open. I mean, I get it. It's fun to play around with. Alright, I didn't want to build a cash machine neither. Info kiosk. It's fun to play around with AI. So why wouldn't you? It's just that that should never actually be in open. Like in your own stuff, sure, but not in the official version. Okay, time to make this better colors. I always like the orange with yellow, white on the outside. Hello Max, welcome. The thing about AI is that it's pretty great. The other thing about AI is that it's pretty terrible. And that's the annoying thing. It can be so good when you use it for certain things, and it can be so awful if it's used for other things. Orange creamsicle color scheme. Oh, orange creamsicle. I don't know if that's the same I think of, but I'm thinking of a split. Dutch people will know what I mean. I don't know if it's a thing outside of the Netherlands, at least under that name. It makes me think of a split ice cream. When you say orange creamsicle and orange white. It's this thing. Which I used to love as a kid. I would probably still like it now, I just haven't had it in like a decade. Okay, yes, exactly that. I don't know what they are called. What happens if I... No, it doesn't exist in other countries under that name. Apparently, because when I do my ice cream, I still get kind of Dutch results for the ones that actually show the thing. The other classic one, I don't know what this is called in other countries, but it's a raketje. So, rocket. That's a very classic ice cream here. Anyway, are drops nauseating? Yes. Popsicles, the general name for a frozen, usually fruit flavored ice cream on a stick. If it's filled with ice cream, it becomes a creamsicle. Ah, yeah, I didn't really have my English terms right there anyway, so thank you for the explanation. We have a Rocket Pops too, usually in America colors. America colors. I did see one when I just checked it. It's, I saw a red, white and blue one, which is the Dutch flag, but that's also the American colors. But I don't think your American colored rocket will be like the American flag. It will just be red, white and blue, which is not the American flag, it's the Dutch flag. It's kind of hilarious when they go like American colors and it's just red, white and blue. Like there's not 30 other countries that have those colors in their flag. Now, that's not me bashing on Americans using red, white and blue to celebrate, because that's fine, of course. Anyone wants to show that they're a proud Texan. I get that. It's just funny. And I'm fine with getting monorails, Mr. Fedros. Also, interesting thing I've thought about before is that the Netherlands has a clear national color. Which is... Why did we start with one bird? Which is obviously orange. But it's not in our flag. Our flag is red, white and blue, and then orange is a national color. And everyone knows orange is the national color of the Netherlands. We play in orange sports apparel, our athletes at big international matches and stuff. like, it's very clearly our national color. Yeah, it used to be in our flag, fair enough. And I thought, are there any other countries that have such a clear national color? Like that everyone outside of that knows that country. I've heard people say blue for Italy, but I don't think that's like that. Not. I don't think it's nearly on the same level as the Netherlands with orange. And that's something I find fascinating. Isn't orange the monarchy color? I mean, I don't know exactly how that all came to be and stuff. They're called of orange, you know. Willem-Alexander van Oranje-Nassau. So, yeah, partly like House of Orange or whatever exactly it's called, I don't know. Yeah, like national colors in the sport don't really count, it's just... The Russians had that whole red thing, yeah, like communism being red, but... Was that like their color? That would have been a long time ago, so I don't really know about it. We can definitely charge $10 for this one. Okay, how about we do a little bit of scenery work, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Like so. We might as well surround it. You're surrounded! Okay, how many people have used this yet? 16. Out of the 118. I guess my happiness in my test, my average happiness was not very high, so people got a lot more nauseous. You know who are also referred to as the Reds? The Red Arrows in the UK. Why isn't that Long Plume Starry Night colored? I wouldn't know. I am not authorized to discuss that. Now, more scenery. You know, something I rarely do is mix small flower beds with big ones. So I thought we'd try, and that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Ta-da! It's pretty, thank you. What we can do as well is do that and do something here. Like, it's a thing I do way too frequently, but I like it. We'll do, yeah, bricks. I have a style. You know, a statue of Le Man. Statue of Le Woman. And yeah, why not some fountains next to it. We'll turn this into grey as well. And yabba-doo. Nah, we don't need fences on top of there. What's your favorite fence? Probably the railings. They're really good. My favorite scenery theme in general is this one. The shrubs and ornaments. Which I haven't used yet in this park. But they're so... It's very default, I know. Well, I should say this is my favorite scene. I generally just like to mix up the basic 6. But if I had to choose one, it would be the shrubs and ornaments. If I had to choose one out of anyone that's not the basic 6, probably Roman. With the Roman temple being my favorite scenery object of all time. When I play offline and I get abstract theming, my partner says, oh no, because I'll put it everywhere. Abstract can be quite good as well, yeah. A lot of these themings can be really good. Rip the merry-go-round. Okay. And it's time. We can like build a station here and then go around it and stuff like that. Yeah, all out nice coaster. Also, ads. So we're not really making a lot of money right now. We kind of have 2 powerhouse rides, which are very profitable. Well, we got 4,000 income in June, which is not too bad. It's a custom park. No, it's a Rucked 1 scenario. From the Loopy Landscapes expansion. It's quite interesting how often people ask me that when I play one of the a scenario from one of the expansions from RST1. They are apparently not that well known. You're definitely not the only one. Thank you for the 13 months, Stuck Pride. This is gonna get me a lot of nausea, but I can't put a first aid room right across it. Unless I move this. And you know what, I'm just gonna move this. And then put a first aid room here. That'll do. Need to fix up that fence. You can open again, you can open. And we can charge 14 bucks, probably, yeah. Which scenario are you doing? Dusty Desert. Now, this color, c'est horrible. No, Marcel, not orange again. How about some kind of blue? Yeah, that works. Why buy flowers? Yeah, we had to sacrifice a few flowers, but that's alright with me. Because now we'll have less Buki. Should probably build a queue line. There we go. And then I do want some path going this way. Eventually. We are still in the money making phase. We'll obviously work on these later. Now this will be another great money maker. They will pay 14 bucks apparently. It's very nice. And it's bound to have a decent throughput. Ride time of just 39 seconds. Quite like it, the way it goes around this little temple with bushes and whatever that I've created. I'm finally tackling Evergreen Gardens. I've been so scared of that one. In RCT1 or Open RCT2? If it's an RCT1 itself, then that's proper respect, because that's a level more difficult. Mostly because of pathfinding reasons, I think. How is this boat empty while there's a massive QUUU line? Just gonna set it to wait for full load. More ads. This is doing pretty well. We're probably gonna reach 6,000 this month. Well, no, not yet, but we're definitely gonna be over 5,000. Came from your YouTube videos after getting back into RCT. Glad to catch your stream. Glad to have you here, Fire Flyer. And if you like the YouTube videos, well, I'm working on another big one. Namely about nausea. How does it work? What does it do? How do you prevent it? All that kind of crap. The funny thing is, I keep forgetting how long I make my videos. Well, how in depth I go, because I keep being like, yeah, this will be 10-15 minutes, and it's gonna be at least 25, maybe 30. I don't really know yet. I recorded the script, but it's not always easy to guess how long it'll be. I've not recorded the script, I've written it. How do you prevent nausea? Plays only stalls. Well, yeah. That would work, because they only get nausea from rides. So you're not wrong. Why are so many people watching... Oh, hang on, I gotta add that to my video ideas list. How does watching work? How do people determine what rides to watch? Now, I have a big list with all kind of video ideas. Which I won't show you, obviously. But I've just added ride watching to it. is watching an OpenRST2 thing. No. It's vanilla and maybe even RST1. I can't say for sure. I don't know. But it's definitely a vanilla feature. Because there's no way that OpenRST2 would put this much effort into such a small feature. Do you have any idea how many freaking lines of code there are for just the write watching? I've looked into it before and I didn't understand it. It was too complicated. It's ridiculous. Then again, I also once looked into the logic for nausea for the guests. I did not understand it, but now I do. So I've also just gotten better at it. You know what would make this look nice? Dirt under the pots. Like so. Okay, you know what? This will make it easier. There we go. And I'm not going to do the queue lines. That makes no sense, kind of, but it's my choice. Try the darker sand instead of the dirt. Maybe that would be better. We'll have a try. Yeah, no, that does look better. Is it? Red sand, maybe? No, the darker sand looks quite nice. It's really, it's subtle. Subtly. Did you guys see that there was someone who managed to run Doom on Roller Coaster Tycoon 1? Which sounds incredibly impressive, and it probably still is. Oops, wrong one. It probably is quite impressive, except that they didn't like literally use RCT1. It's not like they built the game inside Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. It's they used some kind of exploit that made it possible to execute code in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. So you start up RCT1, I think load up a save maybe, I'm not entirely sure, and then it will play Doom. Not using RCT1, it will just execute the code that is Doom in the RCT1 window, which is less exciting than I hoped. And then someone said on Reddit, Marcel should make a video about it, and I thought, well, sorry, but I'm just not excited by it, unfortunately. Ah, 9,000. We're gonna reach the 10,000 probably this month. We're starting to get into the good income numbers. Though we are hurt a little bit by the fact that Wild Mice is broken down. Does it have an organ rendition of E1M1? I don't know. E1M1, presumably some kind of soundtrack of Doom. There we go, it's finished. finished, fixed. Are we gonna reach 10,000? No. Oh no, we still have it 31st of August. We might reach it. Thanks to the spinning wild mouse being fixed. Yeah, before the 31st of August even. So now it's time. I kind of want these all to be really big. Nah, we're not gonna work on them yet. I'm just gonna kind of expand sideways for a bit. Because I want to make more money. That actually sounds pretty concerning if it was just from a save file. Yes, and also... someone said in the OpenRCT2 Discord that they're like, well, I hope this isn't possible in OpenRCT2. Because yes, that would be a problem. And it shouldn't be possible. Crypto Miner Park. Someone somewhere probably already has done a Crypto Miner Park. Not literally, of course, as you're saying, but as a theme. Will it make that final hill? Yes, it will. Oh, Virginia Reel on the way? Well, no longer. Oh. Okay, we'll just go around like that then. I just want my entrance on the most profitable tile. That's all I want. There go the ducks. Fire all the staff. Before we do that, I want to see how many pukies they've swiped up. Well, litter in general, I guess. Barely any. We're most of the first year in, and there have been like 10, 12 in total. And how many drinks have been sold? 51. Well, they're using the litter bins quite well then, at least. But yeah, that means barely any pukies, assuming at least a few of these are drink, not cartons, cans. Let's now actually screw them over. And have a little drink of water. Also, welcome Kazium and Jig. Now, we're still charging 2 for this, that's unacceptable. Oh, hang on. And... there we go. That should make us a bit more money. Place one there as well. A little bit more variety in foot. We don't need another drink store yet. would be super interesting for you to do a stream or video walking through some of the OpenRCT2 code with plugin creation. I'm not sure if that's the thing I should do. I'm not an expert on plugin creation. I needed a lot of help to make my own. And that's still wait. Oh. And that's still a relatively simple one. And the same with the code. You know, I can read the code, at least for the simple stuff, well enough. You know, the logic of when a guest goes where and how much happiness they get and all that kind of stuff. I'm quite familiar with that, but if it goes into actually running the game, like drawing all the windows and making the save files and that kind of stuff, I don't know. That's definitely not... Wait, 17... Oh yeah, we might... Whoa, 5,000. Well, not all from umbrellas, but most of it. Looking compared to the not even 600 in the month before. That's... We did make it a bit less from rides, of course. But at the same time, my god, we made more from umbrellas. Next time we'll make less from umbrellas, because a lot of guests already have one. But still. For this one time at least, it's pretty nice. I'm guessing it's hot and dry, so it's not going to rain very often. $19,000? Yeah, we've got enough now to start building this one. And not only do we have a lot of money, we also have income. So by the time I've built more of this, we'll have made more money. The one downside... Oh, there doesn't have medium loops yet. The one downside of the inverted coaster is that you cannot interlock its loops. That's all inverted coasters, you know, also the compact inverted coaster, any inverted loop. You can't interlock them. Because they have too little space inside. I have a feeling it's because of the umbrella trick that we don't have more scenarios with the stall profit call. I'm not sure if the umbrella trick was very well known when the expansions were created. Not even with the larger loops. Larger loops cannot interlock at all on no ride. Maybe it's possible that, like, if you have a larger loop like this, you could do a normal loop here, but I don't see why that would be possible if a normal loop isn't possible. But interlocking two large loops is not possible on any ride. Bad large loops. Well, the thing is, the space in the reason is the space inside of a large loop. It's only 2 tiles wide, but the large loop itself is in total 3 tiles wide, and there's your problem. That doesn't work. Okay, better make that corkscrew. Yes. Neato. Also, you would not get a lot of the interlocking bonuses from interlocking large half loops, because technically they're not interlocking. The reason that you're getting all the bonuses from normal loops, the normal loops are one track piece. But the large half loops are technically 2 large half loops, so there's not literal track pieces interlocking. Okay, I believe you can do a helix. Through a loop when it's inverted. Oh well, maybe I should align properly first. Okay, that is aligned maybe I should go down and if I want to do a helix. Or inline twist. Yeah, that works. That's possible. Also, I way overestimated the amount of money I would need for this ride. Well, it's better to overestimate than to underestimate, probably. In this game, it doesn't really matter. Well, that looks wrong. That looks very wrong. Look at that. That. This is not even subtle. This is not subtle at all. This is clearly, blatantly going through it. Only from this angle, and probably this one. No, this one not either. Is the space rings the ride with the lowest default ticket price? Maybe? I don't know. All I know is it's terrible. It's a bloody space rings. Okay, now let's hope I didn't make it too intense. Yeah, that doesn't align well. Now it does. Is there clipping potential for a crash? There's only one way to find out. Those turns look a bit G-forcey to me, but can't do anything about it. We don't got banked sloped turns here. See, it looks perfect from this angle. I mean, it goes through the loop so quickly after traversing the loop itself that it will never crash. Trains are not that close together. So it's not a well, it kind of is a safety issue from a realism standpoint, but not from a gaming standpoint. 9.95 intensity, that's good. Hang on, do we have a minimum length here? No, just 7 excitement. Yeah, go away. Yeah, that's what I want. Verwijdering opposite. 2.78 Gs. Yeah, you know, I'm getting it a little bit close. You know I like to walk the line. That seems to be here. Which... Oh, that would be the very final corkscrew. The one I didn't build. But the one I did yeet the train into quite quickly. Well, quite fast, at quite a high velocity. Oh, wait. I placed the first aid room at the wrong place. It should be at the exit, not the entrance. Whoops. Well, it's not a big deal, but whoops. With guests, this will definitely be too fast. This is one of the situations where you want to ride. Good point, Tris. Want to ride test the ride without guests. Otherwise, it will be too intense, and you will have the problem. That final corkscrew is gonna hurt. Ooh, ow. Look at that. We've got one of them done. And I'm gonna make it a different color. I like this, but it's also a bit overplayed. Yeah, this is better. The right length minimum. Nope. There is not. There is, though, a minimum price for the log flume, which I was not adhering to. And since it's waiting for full load, that means that there's a lot of people stuck on the log flume. Whoops. My bad. Even these are getting unhappy. Whoopsie daisy. And it's raining, so they're not gonna go on it. Yeah, they're even impacting our happy guests. Well, it's more than just those few. I mean, that is 56 guests out of the 200 that aren't happy. Which is not insignificant. But we definitely need entertainers. Also, we haven't got staff at all. Hence the amount of litter. We haven't had staff for 15 minutes. Hang on, not a single ride broke down. Whoa. I did not expect that. Not a single ride broke down in the 15 minutes we did not have mechanics. Well, this thing's too expensive as well now. This thing has already lowered in value once and they'll still pay 10 bucks. That means, pay attention, that they would have paid 14 bucks at least for a swing and inverter ship. If you put it to 15 swings, the maximum. When it's brand new. 14 bucks for a goddamn flat ride. Did any of you ever dare to do that? As a kid, did you ever go over like 3 bucks for a flat ride? It's mental what you can charge. For, I mean, most of these, the gentle rides stick to like 7 bucks or so when they're new. But the more intense ones, the thrill rides, they can be quite intense. And that gives quite a lot of stats. And that means you can charge a lot. I think I might have gone to 4 or 5 euros for a swing inverted ship. And you still undercharged. Significantly. One annoying thing about this finish the coaster scenario is that stupid mechanics will try and inspect the unreachable and unopened coasters. Yep. That's annoying. Well, I got 2 free ones now to do the other inspecting. It's gonna need some more mechanics. And look at that, the guests are happy again. The park rating has gone up, which is partly because it's dry and people are now going on the rides again. Which means they're in the queue lines and not on the path. We should advertise more. I have a lot of money, so I'm just going to do a 12 weeks one, even though that's sufficient money-wise. But since I will not always remember to immediately renew them, it's probably more efficient in terms of coverage. I know you can't demolish the pre-placed coasters, but can you alter the exit and entrance placements? Nope. Speaking of free world coasters, let's do another. This is a twister coaster. Okay. If it reaches 200, I'm screwed with those turns. I don't think it will now, not even close. 165. We'll do the launch lift field that way. I just want to reach very high speeds. Okay, will that reach 200? C'est la question. And if it does, that means I can't take a turn. Just over 200. So now the turn will be fine. This is more built like a hypercoaster instead of a twister coaster, but whatever. What? Vertical turns didn't exist? That's news to me. Okay, can we do a large corkscrew? Or does it go? I think it'll go too fast for that still. Yes, I think there's a limited, if I remember correctly, at 120. Before you get excessive lateral G-forces, so shouldn't do that. Okay, this is burning through our money. We're literally broke. I'm even broker than Mr. Beast says he is. Okay. Is any of our rides too expensive? Might as well do a little bit of maintenance while we wait for money to come in. It seems to all be fine. I don't think it'd be without the spirit of the challenge if we could at least change the locations of the ride entrances and exits for these coasters, even if only to circumvent the mechanic trying to inspect them. Yeah, but I don't need to. I can just hire a few more mechanics. I make plenty of money. It's just like 200 extra a month or something. Well, 3 mechanics extra. But there are 4 mechanics that are tied up in that currently, so that's 320 a month, which is not a big deal. I just spent 100 times that on a roller coaster. Can't put a first aid swing there. In that case, let's put it there. Not sure why I'm building a space range. It's literally cancer. But I'm building one anyway. Have you ever tried to do a campaign but with a maximum murder? Not dropping people off the paths of the map, literal deaths that affect PR. I've not tried, but it is on my ideas list. RCT2, kill as many guests as possible is what I've written it down as. And it's been on the ideas list for a long time. The thing is, there are so many more ideas than I can make videos. Currently, there are, I think, 24 ideas on the ideas list. Plus 12, I think, ride overviews I still can do. Plus the occasional Marcel Plays RCT video. Plus other videos I will come up with between now and the end of this ideas list. There are actually 2 videos in the works that are not on the list. Ground guest 666. See if they are still alive. There, but not for long. I'll drown them when the coaster comes by. Now. Holy crap, we were still in 2 times speed. I was like, damn, that goes fast. But in 2 times speed, what we saw would have been 400 kilometers per hour if we change it back to normal speed, so yeah. And that's still not enough money to finish it. We do now. Look at that. This is where we didn't advertise and then advertise. Advertising works, baby. Well, you can see where I started building the coaster. This little blip is the is the inverted coaster, and then this small blip is the twister coaster. Just a small blip. Nothing big. I can just take out a bigger line. 11k should be enough to finish. Wait, where are we actually finishing? Underground. Okay. I'm just gonna put some brakes in. Brake to like 49. think that'll do. Short chain lift section, and then we're going to launch lift hill. I think I may have overdone this. This might be over 10 intensity. Just a hunch. Because I think we got a lot of positive G's. Yeah, no. Honestly, watch this be like 12 intensity. I've done that before. Just gone wild and way too wild. Oh, that's not too bad. 10.3. If I just remove that inversion at the end, it's probably below 10. And I'll put a photo section instead. Can definitely charge 20 for this, by the way. There we go. Nice little fuel line. The longitudinal G-forces on this brake run will absolutely screw you up as well. Oh, 10.03. Okay, you know what? We'll make the trains one shorter, so that we can have one more train. That should do it. That means lower speeds and everything. Yeah, I can already see the difference here. What? How did a smaller train get higher? Maybe it's because we go so fast that it doesn't properly register G-forces. We could do 4-car trains. Now let's just go back to 8-car trains and make it just slightly... What if we do that? Yeah, that works. 9.84 intensity now. For me, the best improvement of RST2 versus RST1 was that the queue lines didn't automatically snap to the closest pass when you're still extending it. That was frustrating in RST1. Do I have news for you, Espanol Utrecht? That was frustrating in RST2 as well, because that is an open RST2 feature. Wasn't it a classic feature? Maybe. I don't know about classic, but it's at least not a vanilla feature. Well, RCT2 based RCT2 vanilla, then yeah, classic is also sort of a vanilla thing, but ah, yes, the people pulverizer. Good name, Mr. Twaddleford. The people pulverizer. There we go. 9,000. It's fascinating. What if you think about what kind of numbers we tend to... Oh, that Q9 is not going to work. Oops. What kind of numbers we tend to add at the end of those kind of ridiculous names? Because you chose for 9,000. Why 9,000? Yeah, no. Why? Sometimes you choose 8,000, 3,000, 6,000. There's probably... You could probably do research into which numbers people pick the most frequently for those kind of things. What is our positive G-force? 5.49, that's not as high as I expected. Is that reached in this little thing? Whoa, look at the velocity graph. That's a brilliant velocity graph. Oh no, our highest G-forces, the negative ones, seem to be done here. The positive one, yeah, that was this. God, this'll give you a massive whiplash. That's this bit, of course. This is not good for you. Even on the map it looks intimidating. But people will pay 20 bucks for it, and it's probably got a decent throughput. It's got a ride time of only 1 minute and 9 seconds, despite being over 2 kilometers long. An average speed of 85 is really high. And this is gonna make absolute bang. We're on 3,000 guests an hour now. It's of course not nearly close to paying itself back. Well, I'll say 3,000 guests an hour. That's not accurate because it also includes photos, so it's actually kind of lower. More ads. Hello from Canada. What scenario are we doing? We are doing Dusty Deserts. Which is in the stream title, actually. Now, I'm not blaming you for this, because this is just how humans be, but it's surprising how few people don't read things, which includes myself. You know, I think this one's too... Yeah. Which includes myself. I know there's been situations where I just blatantly haven't read things that I should have read, but it's amazing how, well, human that is. should also put a drink stall like here. And food stall. And yeah, why not a communal toilet? What's the objective? Finish these 5 coasters with at least 7 excitement. Does this one have 7 excitement? Oh yeah, it's nearly 8. Okay, let's put a nice bit of color on this. People Pulverizer is nice and pink, very accessible. We're up to 21,000 profit in June. As someone who once worked in retail, I can confirm nobody reads. If there's a big obvious sign that says juice, they'll ask where do you keep the juice. That's what they asked Germany in 1945 as well. But yeah, as someone who's been a moderator for various online platforms, I can attest to that as well. For example, when I did Pokemon Showdown, if someone joined our chat room, there would be a big banner in the chat being like, hey, here are our rules, these are the current events going on, that kind of shit. And then very often people will still ask, what are the rules, what are the events going on, when is the deadline for this? Mate, it's all in that massive banner that's right below the chat message that you just posted. Or right above it, sorry. I don't think it's ever been as frustrating as then. Because that required a lot of interaction from people. Like, we did a lot of events and that kind of stuff. When do you stream? I mean, that's at least a bet. I mean, we talked about that, but that's at least a better question, because you do actually have to find a stream schedule on Twitch, and I'm sure not everyone even knows that it's a thing that exists. The joke, of course, being that my stream schedule is extremely predictable. We should put this in test mode. We don't need curved hills on top of here. We're not going to go that fast. I'm used to streamers not having a schedule and showing up at like 4 AM. Oh, I show up at 4 AM all the time. It's 4 AM somewhere. Oh, I had to drink some water 7 minutes ago. Yeah. Nice. Most streamers stream when I'm working, so that sucks. Yeah, I can imagine that. As a streamer, you are kind of forced to work outside normal hours if you want a big audience. I mean, there's a reason I stream in the evening. It's still like midday for Americans, afternoon, whatever, but at least for Europeans it's evening. Where actually is the end of this ride? Hang on. I need my away cut view. Ah. C'est there. I remember when I watched League of Legends streams, I sometimes would be able to catch a stream from pro League players in the USA in my mornings because they were streaming so late. I'm thankful I never really have had that kind of weird schedule. I think the latest I've streamed is about midnight, but that was not the start, that was the end of the stream. No loopings. This ride is quite intense. I don't want to tempt fate by putting in loopings. Und there it goes, Soundbirds. Hey Nick, welcome. We definitely did not need banked turns there. And that was the ride. Very, very nice. I do think it's quite nice how they, these stations are laid down in a cross pattern. And so they can't synchronize, but they still made the chain lifts come together nicely. Looks very good. Okay, where's my exit? There it is. Now, did I do this properly? No, I did not. And then we'll, like so, and then we'll give each of them their own first aid room. To minimize pookies. Okay, what are the stats? They were pretty good. 7.63 excitement, 8.55 intensity, 5.46 nausea. That's easily enough excitement. Okay, it's time. Oh, hang on, I have a hotkey for that. Which hotkey is that? There we go. It's time to try to build a path through this mess. Okay, that was easy. That was very, very easy. I think I used to play with invisible support a lot more when I was young than I do now. I rarely use it anymore, the option which I currently have on, but I used to use it a lot to try to help me build stuff. I guess nowadays I mostly just use the cutaway view, which did not exist back in the day. What's your favorite root beer brand? I'm not American. I've never had root beer. I don't even know what it is. I know it's a beverage. I would say it's alcoholic, is it? I would say it's a kind of beer. I know we've had this conversation before where the chat explained to me what the root beer was. The thing is, I have forgotten. It's a soda. Ah. Or pop as we call it here. Some people call it soda pop. Okay, this thing now is too expensive. It'll do. Because the decrease in maximum price after 13 months is always exactly $2. It's terrible bringing root beer to Europe. First they think it's booze, and second they think it tastes like toothpaste. Well, I'm just glad I haven't had it. It's very funny seeing Germans order root beer at American bars because it's the cheapest and they're being utterly disgusted. Why is there ice in my beer? Yeah. I would be very confused as well. Not that I would ever order beer. When's the last time I've ordered a beer? I think that would have been the summer of 2014? 15 maybe? It's more than 10 years ago. I've drank beer since then, also not much, but I've drank beer at home at friends' places, but not ordered beer since then, I think. The rare occasion I have alcohol in restaurants, it is always wine, which is vastly superior to beer. What kind of wine? Usually white. Like a, well, depends on what they have. No, usually I just have whatever my mom has. She knows more about wine than I do. We'll mix up green and yellow. Like so. I don't want to drink because my family has a history of addiction, so I don't want to start in the. Don't want to start just in case. That's fair. For the same reason, I will never ever do drugs outside, I guess, of alcohol. Not because my family has any drug addiction. My dad smoked, but not like any proper hard drugs. But still, I just don't want to take the risk. I will never smoke a cigarette, which has to do with my dad smoking, but also just a general thing of don't want to take a risk of being addicted. And I will never do like coke or heroin or LSD or shrooms or any kind of stuff like that. I don't really drink much either. Although that is a thing I have done in the past. That's 10 years ago now. No champignons. Yeah, no, those are pretty good. It's a good city. Isn't there a city in France called like Champignon or something like that? Or am I confusing it with Champagnol? No Champagnol exists, I believe it's in the Jura. Dr. Pepper is good. I have had Dr. Pepper once. I was 16 and I've hated it ever since. Coca-Cola's alright, but I prefer Fanta. Interesting thing, in the Netherlands we also call Fanta Sinaas. After its flavor, you know, orange. An orange, the fruit, is called a sinaasappel in the Netherlands. So we just call it Sinaas, and if you're in restaurants you can just order a Sinaas and don't know what you mean. But I once tried to order, like many years ago, in France, Germany, whatever, I don't know, a Sinaas, and I had no idea what it meant. Because they don't have that there. Well, they had the drink. And eventually I got it, because I said, hey, I would, Sinaas, oh yeah, Fanta. Oh yeah, Fanta, we know Fanta. But I had no idea what the Sinaas was. We should make the rest of this color as well. Just accentuates the path a little bit more. I think that's it. No, missed a bit. Yeah, that should be it. Looks like it. Ooh, we still got some vandalism despite all my attempts to reduce vomit. Maybe that's already been there since I had to fire the star for a bit. Hey, this is a good way of randomizing rotation. I'm just holding down the A key, which is my rotation hotkey. And then I'm pretty much randomizing rotation. Poor old Sphinx, she must be getting pretty sick from this. Whee! There's also a fun way to see which can be rotated and which senior items cannot. Mr. Bones is having the time of his life. This one is just vibrating. This is just a funny shaped vibrator. Ooh, we are so close to our first 30k month. October will not be that. Because of rain, but in March, maybe. Is this now too expensive? No, it's just raining. And people being pussies and unable to afford it. If you can't afford it, just get more money. It's not difficult, folks. Ooh, the gasttrein. Perfect life advice. Isn't that the 50% of the life advice that those gurus give, like Andrew Tate and all those bullshitters? I mean, they give advice about all the stuff as well, but if it's about money, it's always just do more, just work 30 hours per day, just get more money. Like, yeah, thank you, easy. Stop being poor, get up and drop ships, scam other people with fake Temu garbage so you can flex on them. Yeah, baby! That's the real mindset. Or should I say, the Sigma male grind set. Because that's what we're all about. Like, we're all Sigma males, we're all into that grind set. And I am the Sigmaest of them all. Okay, I think this one may also just be too expensive. Yes. $17 okay? 17's okay, good, thank you very much. If you're homeless, just buy a house. Yeah, that's what I did. I wasn't homeless, but I just bought a house. It's easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Don't be lazy. You fool. I'm gonna refurbish this one. There we go. Gonna increase the price again. The grinding mindset has been a disaster for the human race. In general, it's very dangerous to turn every hobby you have into an income stream. I did that with speed skating. A few years ago I did commentary for a season. And while I'm glad I did it, I learned some nice things. It was interesting to do. I'm also very glad I quit. I already turned a hobby into a job. Rollercoaster Tycoon. And I'm not ready to turn another hobby into a job. I did lose enjoyment out of it. Jesus, we have nearly 100,000 in the bank. Oh, whoops, I should probably reopen this. Stalled enough. Oh, I didn't need to go quite as tall. ATMs are overpowered. Yes, they are. Right. Okay, now I can go underground. Oh, above ground. I wonder if this is actually going to be possible to get a good excitement rating on this. Or actually, like a good intensity rating. Because I have a feeling, maybe, just maybe, this is going to have a lot of positive vertical Gs. Why are all these set to wait for full load? It's kind of useless. Got 180 at the bottom. What do you want to name? Twaddlefoot. Okay, now what I definitely should not do is include a loop. That will absolutely kill everything. I think this will be way too intense. I think the G-forces down there will be way too high. But there's only one way to find out. Straight to the stoke. Yeah, I don't know what the stoke is. Or straight to Stoke. Do you live in Stoke-on-Trent, perhaps? And is there a spinal hospital there? Someone should make a plugin that kills guests that experience too many Gs. Just vanish them from the world. Ouch. $9.4. Jeez. Whoops. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It refers to the Royal Stoke University Hospital, a major trauma centre for Northern England and Wales. Ah. So instead we just have to use the normal... This'll still work. There we go. This should do fine. Hey Luigi, welcome. What kind of neckbreaker are you building now? Well, one that was too intense. It had nearly 10 positive Gs. Yeah, 9.54 now, it's pretty good. It got a 123 meter drop. That's ridiculous. That's taller than the Empire State Building if the Empire State Building was not as tall as it is currently. Thanks for that fact. Yeah, I know, it's a great fact. It's one of my favorites. What's the highest G's that you can get without getting over the red intensity? I've done over 10. But that's gotta be really near the limit. Do you think guests are excited to write this because they want to experience breaking their necks? I mean, yeah. Obviously, I would be. I'll be very excited to write it. Oh, shit. Make it not free. Which is too expensive again. There's this one. That one's fine, that one's fine. Yeah, all the others seem fine. Yeah, we made over 30,000 in March from a right ticket profit. Let's pay back the loan. Not that it matters much, we pay 33 euros and 20 cents in loan interest per month. €20, dollars or pounds, yeah. Or, of course, $143,746. Whoa, 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 whoa. How much whoa, whoa, whoa do I have? 653 million. What are the excitement? Let's just have a look at the general excitement ratings. We have only 4 rides over 7 excitement, which are exactly the 4 rides that we need to get over 7 excitement. So that works fine. But they're up taller than the Burj Khalifa if the Burj Khalifa was 1/8 the size. Whoa, I didn't know that. Is it another thing? I'm pretty sure custom currencies is open. And not vanilla. A lot of these currencies are open as well. Vanilla did not have this many. I propose we replace all of the world's currencies with In Welsh it's a vowel, so they just probably pronounce it like ah, because it's a vowel. I don't quite want to do the laydown coaster yet. That will be 5.5. Ah! Here you go. Can I please get 60 cents back? I don't believe that's very good for my throat. Just something to make retail workers' life even worse. Yes, you can't say it's I only have 10 Hang on, get out. We don't do business with the country where they use the You are not welcome here. What's the exchange rate between the and the Oh wait, I thought that was exclamation marks, which I kind of pronounce as just kind of a. But no, it's the E. The skeletons are to make the guests face their impending death head on. Yes, just to know what they signed up for. It kind of looks cool though. Not gonna lie. Going into the stream with no context has to be hilarious. Yes, it has to be. I mean, you could probably make a very good compilation of a Marcel Vos out of context. You know, that They do that with loads of streamers. I think maybe the fact that I don't have a face cam makes it a less appealing thing to do. Also, I don't have that big an audience. But you could very well do all kind of crazy things. Because I say crazy shit sometimes. And so do you guys. I'm not the only one here. You guys have to blame as well. Now, would you believe that this Dodgems has 3 different colors? Believe it or not, there are 3 different colors for this Dodgem. Look at it. You can see it. It's yellow, it's light brown or something, and it's golden brown, whatever that is. I mean, you can see the light brown, that's here on the sides. But these 2 are absolutely the same color. But no, one is yellow. And one is dark yellow. We need to introduce a new currency name for the $100 bill. It will now be called the Ooh, more advertising. I'll advertise the people killer, people pulverizer 9000. 5 Marcels in a row. Hell yeah. There was someone, I forgot who, but they were on like, how many? 25, that was Major Geeks. Major Geeks, have you missed a stream? What's the last time you missed a stream? I don't know if you're still here, maybe you've left by now, I don't know, but you seem to be here very often, which is nice. Name the vertical drop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah! Oh, it's already been named, so no, that's not gonna work. I used to build the treetop choppers pre-built a lot as a kid because I just liked it. And you know what? I'm just gonna build it again today as well. It's just neat. Name the lay down. I'm gonna have such a sore throat tomorrow. Can I put emotions in? Yes. Oh, but only if I do no Q. What if I do it like this then? Yeah, that works. That works for me. Damn, there's a lot of guests walking around here. Heading to straight for Stoke. Well, your hospital ride is this way, my friend. So, it went 180 without guests. How fast does it go with guests? Not that much faster. These trains are quite heavy naturally, but maybe 181, 182? We'll see. No, still 190. Makes very little difference in that bit. I love making fast coasters. It's a bit of a balance. You have to be careful with not making them too intense when they go so fast, but I love it. The sound of a coaster going 200k an hour is just magnificent. I've had this discussion with a buddy of mine. All these records on track, etc. are very nice, which is high altitude, which is low, the whole ordeal. But how hard is it to race these temporarily built tracks, such as the one coming in Milan at the Winter Olympics for a few days? It's very difficult to know how fast such a track is. It's impossible, really. I mean, there was one competition there already, which was a Junior World Cup, and the times there were quicker than expected, actually quicker than I expected. So that bodes well. But yeah, knowing how fast it's going to be is very hard. I predict it'll be somewhere around the same as Hamar, Nagano, those kind of rings. Kind of the standard low altitude rings, not too fast, not too slow. Nothing like Heerenveen, definitely not. But also not like Domazov. It's a real shame that they didn't use Turijn again, because in Turin they have already a big hall that used to be a speed skating rink for the 2006 Olympics, and they didn't use that again. I'm excluding the Olympic rings that were built for the Olympics but stayed after. I mean, Turin did technically stay after for a year, but was demolished then. But Turin was quite fast at the time. 2018, Gangneung technically still exists, and in 2024, I believe, we had the Youth Olympics there, but it's not used anymore, really. Not used internationally, and not even by Koreans. But this will be the first true temporary skating hall. This will be the very first Olympic speed skating competition, well, except maybe very long time ago, but that I know of. On a speed skating rink that will just be demolished soon after the games. Maybe 1992 in Albertville as well. I was still outdoor though. ...2006 Winter Olympics were my first ice skating races I've seen that I can remember. Same for me. I remember watching it while we were on holiday in Hellevoetsluis. We had a little TV there and watched some Olympic races on there. I do know I watched speed skating earlier because, and I'm pretty sure it is, because I remember being on the playground, like before that, like group 4 or 5, something like that. Which would have been like 2004-ish. And people calling me Venom Marcel. After Erben Wennemars. Which makes sense, because that was the time, 2003 to 2005, where he won multiple world titles. So I'm not sure if I was watching speed skating at the time, but I was definitely aware of it, because I knew him, I knew what that meant, they knew what it meant. I don't remember watching speed skating at the time, though. But you know, there was ice on the playground, and I was like going a bit in like skating motion, just on shoes, but you know what I mean. And yeah, people called me Venom Marcel because, you know, Erben Wennemars, Marcel, it works. Okay, we need to get to the other side because here is the finish. What do you think of the what's-her-face skater that always competes with full makeup? Yeah, Jutta Leerdam. I mean, I feel neutrally towards her. I'm a big fan of her on what she does on the ice, and if she does a very good race. But that doesn't have anything to do with her, because then I'm a fan of the race. which I can have with anyone. In terms of Utah specifically, don't like her, don't dislike her, just feel neutrally. Is she the one that has a relation with the Paul brothers? Yes, that I dislike, but I just dislike Jake Paul. Okay, yeah, I think I put this twist in the wrong. Well, no, this can that work? Maybe if I go down underground. Yeah, that'll work. My colleague dated in the Netherlands skating community and they're all a tiny bit nuts. I don't think the answer is yes, but are you willing to share who they dated? I'm not sure if you should, but I am interested. Wait, we shouldn't open this one yet because I don't want to beat the scenario yet. My dad used to watch speed skating, so while I can't remember anything of it, I'm pretty sure, and ironically, I'm from 1995, that my first ever Winter Olympics would have been Nagano in 98. Same. I was born in 96. I watched the Elfstedentocht of 97. I don't remember it, I was a month old. But I watched it because my mom has told me that she was sitting on the couch with me watching the Elfstedentocht. Honestly, I can't recall the names, but this guy she dated refused to meet her if she was even a little sick 6 weeks in advance to an event. I can get that. Maybe not if it's like a World Cup or something, but if it's like a World Championships, I can understand that. I don't think that's nuts, especially not if it's the Olympics. Okay, did I do well? No, I I very much did not do well. Whoops. 16 intensity. I think I know where the problem is. Yeah, at the very end. Got to put in brakes. .57, that should do fine. It ended up being like no contact all winter basically. Yeah, that's a bit extreme. I don't think most people are that extreme. Because I do know something about the love lives of some speed skaters, because it's just discussed in public, in the TV thing like that, and there will be like documentaries, document not the right word, but things about like Irene Schouten and her boyfriend, who's not a speed skater. And yeah, she will definitely not refuse to see him for the entire winter. But she would probably, ahead of the World Championship or the Olympics, a few weeks before that, be more careful. Unless you're like an absolute world champion, I would find it very extreme 6 weeks actually, now that I think about it. 6 weeks is a long time. The only thing I can really justify that is like World Championships or Olympics. Things like World Cups? Definitely not. Oh, whoops, I accidentally opened it and we already beat it. Well, it's definitely exciting enough then. Yeah, 7.77, that's the lucky number. Is this your full-time job? Yes. Well, streaming isn't, but making YouTube videos is. Satisfying excitement rating. Yes, very much. It's doing pretty well now that I removed the extreme lateral G-forces that kill you. Okay, if we refurbish a bunch of rides, you know, I want to know how much profit we can make if I get out the plugin. Right, price manager. There we go. Need to, oops. Need to reload. And the price manager is on. So, now we're just gonna refurbish a bunch of old rides. And let's see how much money we can make. Also means less breakdowns, of course. Should I say fewer breakdowns? Oops. That's the twist. Didn't really need to refurbish that. Oh, we're on 30-minute inspection times. Damn it. That definitely didn't help. Well, breakdowns were not a big problem, so... Oh, I should probably build a queue line. There we go. Already built the exit path earlier. Why are all these people here? Seriously. What's with... Is it me or is there just like a big group of people here that's currently walking that way? Oh, they're just all heading for... Whoa. Ah! Okay, what are some of our oldest rides? Why is there no one on that ride? Are they queuing for it? Yes. Oh, the trains were just still empty. That's fine then. How many people are heading for whoa? 151 people. Yeah, that makes it quite crowded here. Wobble inside queue line. Yes, it is. Okay, what are our oldest rides? Swinging inverter ship. Merry-go-round. Few flat rides. Space rings, as if that made us any money. It's made us €124. That's not even its own construction cost. Now, if we look at the actual most profitable rides, then we're gonna see a whole different story. Lol, space rings being far down. It's so terrible. Inverted roller coaster 1 with 83,000. Now that is a profit. And the wooden coaster Gordon Ramsay Big Cock. Oh, I know he likes to cook big cocks. Why did I type dick instead of cock? I did not mean to do that. My fingers just went there. My fingers went to dick. These cash machines should all see a very sudden influx of guests. Well, maybe not sudden, but with yeah, still needing to pay more. $9.60 for this little helicopter ride. There's a Dutch guy out there. It's possible there's a Dutch guy out there called Dick Cock. Yeah, definitely. There have been a lot of shame names, like Condom, which is the Dutch word for condom, and many, many more. Okay, how much are we gonna make? We're on 25,000 and the month is only halfway. That's ridiculous. Look at how fast this is going up. This is what we spent on refurbishing rides. It's a good 30k. And then now the money's going up very, very quickly. That weekly profit. We really did spend a lot of money very, very quickly. And it also increased our park value big time. Tiny cock. No, it's teeny cocks, right? In English-speaking places, Head is a legit surname. Now, woe betide the poor sap whose parents named him Richard. My parents wanted to call me Reinier, but they were scared I would be bullied for Rijntje de Vos. Which is kind of, you know, Van der Vos Reinaarden. I say you know, probably only Dutch people will know that, but it's kind of I don't know what he's called in English. An old character. Let's see. Van den Vos Reinaarden. No, that's also just it's a Dutch thing. Reynard the Fox, so it's translated to Reynard. Reynard the Fox is a literary cycle of medieval allegorical Dutch, English, French and German fables. Anyway, since my last name is Vos, Dutch for fox, they were scared I would be bullied for Van de Vos Reinaarden or Rijntje de Vos. Yeah, Reynard de Vos. So they did not name me that. Even though I don't think it would have been a big problem, but it does show that they thought about it, which is very, very nice. I liked the joke that our former Chancellor of the Exchequer was actually called Warwick Cunt. There's also people called Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt? Yeah, that's not a good name. There are like names of horrible things that would be quite beautiful names, like chlamydia. Sounds like a wonderful name for a woman, except that it means what it means. Of course, ISIS is an actual name. And then people in the Middle East started being dicks. Which is such a shame for people named ISIS. I understand Bill is somewhat funny in Dutch. Yeah. I never really thought about it though. Bill is Dutch for butter. Wasn't Isis the name of an Egyptian goddess? It is, yes. But that's not the thing most people would associate it with in 2014. I don't think it really matters much anymore. Maybe they'll get like the occasional joke or reference, but not as much as 10 years ago. So, I want to thank you very much for watching. We completed Dusty Desert with great ease. And we also sent many people to the chiropractor. Or helped them out and played chiropractor ourselves. You know, 6.5 positive G's. Maybe could do something nice for your back if it's a bit stuck. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll send you to Whoa Jess, my first time in a roller coaster tycoon game. So, she's apparently never played RCT before. She's also about to start Crazy Castle. She's 2 hours into the stream and is about to start Crazy Castle. Good luck, my lady. That's not an easy scenario if you've never played the game. So support her. Give her some help if she needs it. Because she might as well. And enjoy it. And thank you. I wish you good night and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Bye.